The movie Transporter 3 came out in 2008. It's the third film in the Transporter series and again stars Jason Statham as Frank Martin, a man who drives anything, anywhere, no questions asked. Begins at sea. A large ship is moving across the ocean. Two workers on the ship think the cargo they're carrying is alcohol. Curious, they open a container. Inside, they see metal drums. One drum falls over. When they open it, a green toxic gas spills out. Alarms start ringing. The crew quickly puts on gas masks, but it's too late for the two workers, they're already dead. The captain orders their bodies to be thrown into the sea. Meanwhile, a man named Malcolm is driving toward a police checkpoint. When asked for ID, he shows his passport. The officer also notices a woman sleeping in the back seat. Malcolm says she's tired from partying all night. The cop lets him pass. Elsewhere, Frank Martin is fishing with his friend Inspector Tarconi. They're enjoying a quiet day on a boat, though they haven't caught any fish yet. Frank gets excited when Tarconi finally hooks something, but before they can enjoy it, Tarconi gets a call. There's a car chase happening, and it's not Frank behind the wheel, which surprises him. Tarconi says they have to cut the trip short. Back to Malcolm, he reaches another checkpoint. This time, the police tell him to get out of the car and bring the woman inside too. Malcolm gets nervous. Suddenly, he speeds away, starting a chase. The police try to catch him, but they crash into a van. At the airport, a man named Johnson arrives on a private jet with his team. He says he's in the country for environmental protection. Around the same time, a government minister named Vasilev gives a press talk about saving the environment. Later in his office, Vasilev finds a strange envelope. It contains a ringing phone. Johnson is on the line. He's watching from a building nearby. Johnson's company had wanted to do business with Vasilev, but the minister said no because their work would harm the environment. Johnson threatens him and tells him to look inside the envelope. Vasilev is shocked by the photo he sees. Johnson tells him he'll call again soon. Later that night, Frank falls asleep watching TV. Suddenly, a car crashes into his house. It's Malcolm, wounded and bleeding. Frank recognizes him. We flash back to when Frank had been offered a job, but he refused it and gave Malcolm's name instead. The man offering the job insisted Frank was the only one who could do it. When Frank said no, henchmen surrounded him. He fought them all off in a room with a piano, proving he was still the best. Back in the present, Frank calls an ambulance. Malcolm, still in the car, refuses to leave. Frank sees a strange metal bracelet on Malcolm's wrist. Paramedics arrive and take him away. Frank checks the car and finds the same woman from earlier, Valentina, still in the back seat. She shows him she also has a metal bracelet on. Frank senses something is very wrong and runs after the ambulance. Before it gets far, the ambulance explodes. Malcolm is killed. Frank returns to his house and is suddenly knocked out. When he wakes up, he's in a strange room wearing only his underwear and a metal bracelet on his wrist. A suit is hanging nearby. Frank gets dressed. Johnson enters and says he needs Frank to finish the job Malcolm failed. Frank refuses. Johnson, annoyed, shoots one of his own men in front of Frank, then points the gun at him. He gives Frank 3 seconds to agree, or die. Frank has no choice. Frank insists he drives his own car. Johnson expected this and takes him to a garage where his car is waiting. However, Johnson's men have removed the weapons from it and installed a new GPS. He gives Frank some money, food, and a phone that only dials Johnson. Johnson explains that the bracelet is a bomb. If Frank moves more than 75 feet away from the car, it will explode. Once the job is done, he'll be free. Frank is ready to go, but then sees Valentina in the passenger seat. He says he works alone. Johnson threatens to kill her if Frank refuses. Frank agrees to take her. Johnson loads 2 bags in the trunk and tells him to start driving. Back at the crash site, Tarconi arrives and finds Frank's house destroyed. He starts a police investigation. Malcolm's car is towed away, but while on the road, the tow truck is blocked by another car. A man shoots the cop and steals Malcolm's car and GPS. Frank reaches a checkpoint and contacts Johnson. He's told to enter a code on the GPS. His next stop, Budapest, Hungary. During the trip, Frank keeps trying to get Valentina to talk, but she stays silent. Tarconi, meanwhile, finds the tow truck and the dead officer. He reviews footage from the camera inside and sees the men who stole the car. He gets the license plate and sends out a search. Frank drives off course to visit his friend Otto, a tech expert. He shows Otto the bracelet and asks if it can be removed. Otto says no, it's high-tech, probably secret military level. He believes there's a transmitter in the car sending signals to the bracelet. Just then, Johnson's men arrive. They tell Frank to get back on the road. Otto searches for the transmitter while Frank is attacked. Using his clothes and anything nearby, Frank fights back. The brawl is intense. One huge man throws Frank around like a toy. Frank fights hard, but the man is tough. Eventually, Frank traps the giant in the floor and knocks him out with a shovel. Frank gets dressed again. Valentina helps him fix his tie. She's clearly starting to like him. Otto finds the transmitter, but warns if he removes it, the bomb may go off. Frank and Valentina get back in the car and continue their journey. Transporter 3 came out on November 26, 2008, and it was the next exciting chapter in the popular Transporter series. This movie is different from others because it mixes fast-paced action with a story that feels personal. From the start, it grabs your attention with cool car chases and well-done fight scenes, set in places around Europe that look real and a little dangerous. What makes this movie special is how it brings action and a real story together, showing us more about the main character's life and feelings, not just his job. The movie is about Frank Martin, played by Jason Statham, who is known for being calm, serious, and very good at what he does. Frank has strict rules about his work. He delivers packages without asking questions, but this time, things get tricky. He has to take care of Valentina, the daughter of a Ukrainian environmental activist who has been kidnapped. The people forcing Frank to do this are dangerous and don't want anyone to stop them. Right from the beginning, the movie makes you feel the tension because Frank has to keep Valentina safe while dealing with bad guys who are always chasing them. What makes Transporter 3 really fun to watch is how it mixes exciting action with a story about people. The car chases are thrilling, with Frank driving fast through tight streets and on busy roads. The fight scenes show how smart and tough Frank is. But the movie is more than just action. It also shows how Frank and Valentina start to trust each other and work together, which makes the story more interesting. Seeing this side of Frank helps us care about what happens to him and Valentina, not just the exciting stunts. The movie looks good too. The places where the story happens, like cities and countryside in Europe, add to the feeling that the danger is real. The way the camera moves and the quick editing help make the action feel even faster and more exciting. The music fits well with the scenes, making the important moments feel more intense. All of this helps you feel like you are right there with Frank, speeding along or fighting off the bad guys. People like Transporter 3 not just because it has cool action and Jason Statham doing a great job, but also because it shows a story about loyalty and doing the right thing even when it's hard. The movie makes you think about what Frank has to give up to protect someone else, and that adds a deeper meaning to all the action. It's this mix of exciting scenes and a story that matters that makes you want to watch closely and enjoy every part of the movie. In the end, Transporter 3 is not just about cars and fights. It's about a man who has to make tough choices and protect someone important while dealing with danger all around him. If you like movies with both action and heart, this one is a good pick. It shows you that even when things are crazy, people can care and make a difference. The story of Transporter 3 begins with Frank Martin living a quiet life in the south of France, trying to keep things simple and by the rules he has set for himself. He is a professional transporter, someone who moves things from one place to another without asking questions. Frank's life is all about order and control, which he keeps carefully balanced by following his 3 rules: never change the deal, no names, and never open the package. He likes to keep things straightforward, and his reputation depends on it. But soon, his carefully controlled world starts to unravel in a way that he didn't expect. The trouble begins when Frank receives a mysterious message demanding that he take on a very special package. This time, the package is not an object, but a person, Valentina, the daughter of a Ukrainian environmental activist. Frank doesn't know the full story yet, but he quickly realizes this delivery will be very different from his usual jobs. Right away, the tension starts to build because Frank senses that this mission won't be simple or safe. There is a heavy sense of danger hanging over the situation, and the way he is being forced into it makes him uneasy. Valentina is introduced as a strong but vulnerable young woman who has been kidnapped to put pressure on her father. She is smart and independent, but it's clear she is caught in something much bigger than herself. The way she looks at Frank shows both distrust and hope, setting up a complicated relationship between the two characters. Their uneasy partnership is at the heart of the story, and it adds layers to the action that follows. Valentina's presence changes the stakes for Frank. It's no longer just about delivering a package, but about protecting a life. As Frank begins his journey, He is watched closely by powerful and dangerous people who don't want the delivery to succeed. General Kassanov, a ruthless Ukrainian official, is revealed as the main villain who orchestrated Valentina's kidnapping. His cold, calculating nature creates a constant threat hanging over Frank and Valentina. The film cleverly builds suspense around these shadowy forces, making viewers feel the pressure mounting with each passing moment. This tension sets the tone for much of the movie, as Frank navigates a world where trust is rare and danger is everywhere. Early in the story, Frank's skills and professionalism are on full display. There are scenes where he expertly handles his car, weaving through tight city streets and outmaneuvering his pursuers. These sequences are thrilling but also serve to show how much control Frank is used to having, something that is about to be tested like never before. Alongside the action, moments of quiet show Frank's thinking process and his careful attention to detail, giving the audience a sense of who he is beyond the tough exterior. His confidence is shaken as the mission grows more complex, and we start to see cracks in his usual calm. The relationship between Frank and Valentina slowly develops, filled with moments of tension and small gestures of trust. At first, Valentina is wary and defensive, knowing that she cannot afford to trust anyone completely. Frank, on the other hand, is used to keeping people at a distance, but the danger they face together forces them to rely on each other. This dynamic creates emotional depth that keeps the story from becoming just a series of action scenes. It also sets the stage for future twists because their connection hints at deeper motivations and hidden truths. Throughout the first half of the movie, there are subtle hints that things are not as straightforward as they seem. Clues appear in conversations, suspicious actions by side characters, and sudden changes in the mission's direction. These moments keep viewers guessing and build anticipation for what will come next. The filmmakers carefully plant these details to maintain suspense and make the story richer without giving too much away too soon. One important moment early on is when Frank discovers that the situation is more personal than he first thought. His family is being threatened if he doesn't complete the delivery exactly as demanded. This raises the stakes immensely, showing that Frank's own life and the safety of those he cares about depend on him following orders. This revelation changes the tone from a professional challenge to a deeply personal struggle, making the audience root for Frank even more. The danger feels immediate, and every decision he makes carries weight. As Frank pushes forward on his journey, the obstacles become tougher and more unpredictable. He encounters ambushes, attempts at sabotage, and relentless enemies who will stop at nothing to get what they want. Each encounter tests his abilities and forces him to think on his feet. The tension rises with every close call, and the pacing keeps the story moving without slowing down. These moments are not just about action but also about Frank's cleverness and determination, reminding viewers why he is known as the best transporter. The first half of the movie also introduces a few supporting characters who add complexity to the story. Some are allies who provide help or information, while others are enemies hiding in plain sight. Their presence deepens the plot and makes the world feel more real and dangerous. Each character plays a role in shaping Frank's path and raising the stakes. The way these characters appear and interact adds layers of mystery and keeps the audience guessing about their true intentions. By the midpoint, the story has set up a world filled with tension, danger, and uncertainty. The pace is fast, the stakes are high, and the characters are caught in a dangerous game with no clear way out. The first half ends leaving viewers eager to see how Frank will handle the impossible challenges ahead. The combination of strong characters, suspenseful moments, and thrilling action creates a foundation that keeps the movie exciting and unpredictable. It's clear that what started as a simple delivery job has become much more, and the journey is far from over as the story moves into its second half. The tension that has been steadily building reaches new heights, and Frank Martin finds himself pushed to his limits. After narrowly escaping a deadly trap set by General Kassanov's men, Frank realizes that his mission is far more complicated and dangerous than he first believed. Valentina, still by his side, grows more than just an ordinary passenger. She becomes a partner in this fight for survival. Their trust deepens as they face the relentless forces determined to stop them from completing the journey. The road ahead is filled with close calls and fierce confrontations, and every moment feels like a test of their will to survive. One of the key turning points comes when Frank discovers that the mission is not just about delivering Valentina but also about preventing a much larger threat. Valentina's father had uncovered evidence of a toxic waste scandal that could have disastrous effects on the environment. General Kassanov is involved in this secret and is willing to go to any lengths to keep it hidden, even if it means sacrificing innocent lives. This revelation raises the stakes significantly, transforming the story from a personal rescue into a battle against corruption and greed. Frank's role shifts from being a mere transporter to someone who carries the fate of many on his shoulders. Throughout this part of the movie, the action scenes become even more intense and creative. Frank's driving skills are pushed to the extreme as he maneuvers through narrow roads, crowded cities, and dangerous countryside. Each chase feels more urgent, and the risks grow higher with every turn. The way the film blends fast-paced driving with strategic thinking highlights Frank's intelligence and determination. There are moments where it seems like all is lost, but Frank's quick reflexes and calm under pressure keep him one step ahead of his enemies. Valentina also shows her strength and courage as she refuses to be a helpless victim. She helps Frank in crucial ways, whether by providing information, offering support during fights, or making brave decisions that turn the tide in their favor. Their relationship evolves naturally, moving beyond simple trust to a deeper connection built on shared struggle and hope. This emotional bond adds weight to the story, making the audience care deeply about what happens to both of them. As the story nears its climax, Frank is faced with a shocking betrayal. Someone he had trusted turns out to be working against him, feeding information to General Kasanoff and putting the entire mission at risk. This twist not only surprises viewers but also forces Frank to rethink his strategy. It serves as a reminder that in this world, appearances can be deceiving and trust is a rare commodity. Frank's ability to adapt and stay focused becomes more crucial than ever. The final sequences are filled with heart-pounding moments where Frank must rely on all his skills and experience to survive. The battle with Kasanoff and his men comes to a head in a tense showdown that tests Frank's physical and mental strength. The stakes feel incredibly high, and every move counts. The fight scenes are intense but also meaningful, reflecting the personal struggles Frank and Valentina have endured throughout the story. When Frank finally confronts Kasanoff, it's not just about winning the fight but about standing up against injustice and protecting what's right. The resolution brings a satisfying closure to the story while leaving room for reflection. Frank and Valentina manage to complete the mission, exposing the corruption and ensuring that the truth is known. The emotional impact of their journey is clear as they part ways, changed by what they have experienced. Frank, who started the story focused only on rules and control, shows growth as someone willing to take risks for others and form real connections. Valentina, too, is stronger and more hopeful about the future. All the threads of the story come together seamlessly by the end. The personal conflicts, the political intrigue, the action-packed sequences, and the emotional moments combine to create a well-rounded narrative. The movie's pacing keeps the audience engaged, with each event building naturally on what came before. The twists feel earned, and the characters' journeys are believable and compelling. In the end, Transporter 3 is more than just a thrilling action film. It is a story about courage, trust, and standing up against wrongs, told through exciting adventures and complex characters. The second half delivers on the promise of the first, bringing the story to a powerful and memorable conclusion that leaves a lasting impression. At the heart of Transporter 3 is Frank Martin, a man defined by his professionalism, precision, and a strict set of rules he lives by. Played by Jason Statham, Frank is more than just a tough action hero. He is a character with layers beneath his cool exterior. From the very beginning, we see a man who values control and order above all else, carefully following his rules: never change the deal, no names, never open the package. These rules aren't just about business, they're a shield that protects him from personal involvement and emotional risk. However, as the story unfolds, Frank's journey reveals a deeper motivation: protecting the people he cares about. When his family is threatened, the seemingly unbreakable rule keeper starts to bend, showing a vulnerability and determination that add real depth to his character. Jason Statham brings Frank to life with a mix of quiet intensity and physical prowess, making him believable both as a skilled driver and as a man struggling with his own sense of loyalty and humanity. His performance grounds the film, giving weight to the action by connecting it to an internal struggle. Valentina is the other central figure, portrayed with a mix of toughness and vulnerability that makes her much more than just a damsel in distress. She enters the story as a captive, but her spirit and resilience quickly shine through. Valentina is not afraid to stand up for herself, and her intelligence and courage help her survive the dangerous situation she's in. Her motivation goes beyond escape. She wants to protect her father's legacy and ensure the truth about the environmental scandal comes out. As the story progresses, her relationship with Frank evolves from distrust to partnership, showing how shared danger can bring people together. The actress playing Valentina brings a quiet strength to the role, balancing moments of fear with fierce determination. This balance helps the audience connect with her and root for her survival. General Kasanoff, the main antagonist, is a figure of cold ambition and ruthless power. His character represents the corrupt forces working against Frank and Valentina, driven by greed and a desire to maintain control over dark secrets. Though he doesn't dominate the screen with constant presence, His threat looms large throughout the film, creating a constant tension. The way the villain is portrayed adds to the story's stakes, as Kasanoff is not just a bad guy for the sake of it, he embodies the real-world consequences of corruption and abuse of power. His calm but menacing demeanor contrasts with Frank's more direct approach, making their conflict feel like a battle between two very different kinds of strength. Supporting characters also play important roles in shaping the story and adding complexity to the narrative. One such character is Inspector Tarconi, Frank's old friend and occasional ally, who provides moments of humor and helps Frank navigate tricky situations. Tarconi's presence reminds the audience that Frank's world is not entirely solitary, and his loyalty adds warmth to the story. Another key figure is Wall Street, a dangerous and unpredictable mercenary who serves as one of Kasanoff's enforcers. His aggression and brutality raise the stakes, forcing Frank to rely on all his skills to stay alive. Wall Street's character helps to show the dangerous environment Frank is operating in, and his clashes with Frank bring some of the film's most intense moments. Each of these characters contributes to the story's tension and emotional depth in different ways. Frank's internal struggle with his rules and his growing concern for Valentina drive much of the story's emotional core. Valentina's resilience and hope push the plot forward, while Kasanoff's cold ambition provides the central obstacle that Frank must overcome. The supporting characters flesh out the world, showing the dangers and alliances that exist around the main players. Together, they create a rich and engaging story that goes beyond just action and chase scenes. The performances throughout the film are key to making these characters feel real and memorable. Jason Statham's portrayal of Frank blends physicality with subtle emotional moments, making him a hero who feels human and relatable. Valentina's actress adds layers to a character who could have been just a victim, showing strength and complexity instead. The actors playing the villains and supporting roles bring a mix of menace and personality that keeps the story interesting and unpredictable. Their interactions with Frank reveal different sides of his character and push the story into new directions. Overall, the characters in Transporter 3 are not just there to serve the action, they are the reason the story matters. Their motivations, struggles, and relationships bring life to the film, making it a compelling watch beyond the fast cars and fight scenes. Each character's journey intertwines with the others in a way that feels natural and adds meaning to the thrilling adventure. It is through this blend of strong performances and well-crafted characters that Transporter 3 remains memorable and engaging, giving viewers more to connect with than just the excitement on the surface. Transporter 3 is packed with details that might not be obvious on the first watch but add extra layers to the experience for those paying close attention. From small nods to previous films in the series to subtle references to culture and symbolism, the movie rewards viewers who keep their eyes open. One of the first things that fans of the series might notice is the way the movie quietly connects to its predecessors through recurring themes and visual cues. Frank Martin's strict set of rules, for example, remains a central part of his character, but there are moments where the film hints at cracks forming in his usual calm and control, suggesting growth and change from the earlier movies. These little touches make the story feel like part of a larger, ongoing journey rather than just a standalone adventure. Another clever detail lies in the choice of locations and how they reflect the tone of the story. The movie moves through various European cities and landscapes, but the way these places are filmed often carries symbolic weight. The dark, industrial settings in Ukraine contrast sharply with the sunlit streets of southern France, mirroring the shift in mood from safety and order to danger and chaos. This visual storytelling adds depth without needing words, allowing viewers to feel the change in stakes as the narrative unfolds. It's a subtle but effective way the filmmakers communicate the story's emotional landscape. The film also uses objects and colors as symbols to hint at character states and upcoming events. For example, Frank's car, a signature element of the series, often appears in shots that emphasize its role not just as a tool but as an extension of Frank himself. The way the car is driven, maintained, and sometimes damaged parallels Frank's own journey through control, risk, and survival. Additionally, the color palette shifts in scenes of high tension, with colder blues and greys dominating to create a sense of unease and urgency. These choices are small but powerful ways to support the narrative mood and foreshadow key moments. Transporter 3 is also sprinkled with Easter eggs that fans of the action genre or the series will appreciate. For instance, there are brief glimpses of vehicles or settings that reference previous Transporter films, creating a sense of continuity. Sharp-eyed viewers might catch subtle lines of dialogue that echo earlier catchphrases or character traits, deepening the connection between the movies. These nods are never overdone but rather integrated naturally, so they feel like rewards for attentive fans rather than distractions for new viewers. The film's use of music and sound design also contains hidden layers. The soundtrack carefully shifts to underscore changes in tone, sometimes using motifs from earlier films or hinting at the tension to come. The sounds of engines, tires screeching, and fights are mixed with quieter moments that carry emotional weight, creating a rhythm that mirrors Frank's own struggles. Paying attention to how sound supports the story can reveal an extra dimension to the viewing experience. Subtle foreshadowing appears in character interactions and background details as well. Early conversations between Frank and Valentina hint at their growing trust and the challenges they will face together. Objects that seem unimportant at first, like a piece of jewelry or a hidden note, later gain significance, tying back to larger plot points. These narrative seeds planted early help the story feel cohesive and carefully crafted, rewarding viewers who notice them with a richer understanding of the plot. One memorable Easter egg involves a brief scene with Inspector Tarconi, Frank's friend, who has appeared in previous films. His cameo not only provides a touch of humor but also strengthens the sense that Frank's world is connected and consistent. Fans of the series will recognize Tarconi's familiar personality and appreciate the continuity his presence brings. This attention to character history adds to the film's depth, showing respect for long-time viewers. The villains and antagonists also carry hidden details that deepen their roles. General Kasanov's calm and collected demeanor is contrasted by small moments that reveal his ruthlessness and personal ambitions. The film hints at his background and motivations through subtle gestures and expressions, suggesting there is more beneath the surface. This complexity makes him more than a typical bad guy, enriching the story's moral layers. Even minor characters and props have been thoughtfully included to enhance the narrative world. For example, the environments often contain newspaper headlines, signs, or background conversations that provide context or backstory without taking focus away from the main action. These details create a lived-in world that feels believable and immersive, inviting viewers to explore beyond what's immediately obvious. Overall, the hidden details and Easter eggs in Transporter 3 work together to create a movie experience that's more than just fast cars and fights. They add texture and meaning, inviting viewers to engage actively and notice the careful craftsmanship behind the story. Whether it's through symbolic use of color, nods to earlier films, or small narrative clues, the film rewards curiosity and close watching, making each viewing a richer adventure. This layering of meaning beneath the surface shows that even a high-energy action film can have subtlety and depth for those willing to look for it. Transporter 3, while known for its high-speed chases and intense action sequences, also has an interesting story behind the scenes that many fans may not be aware of. The making of the film involved several unique challenges and unusual moments that shaped the final product in surprising ways. From the very start, the production team faced the task of creating thrilling, realistic car stunts that would push the boundaries of what audiences expected. This wasn't easy, as filming high-speed chases on narrow European roads required careful planning and skilled drivers. In fact, many of the stunts were performed without CGI, relying on real cars and precise timing. This commitment to authenticity made the driving scenes particularly impressive but also meant the crew had to deal with risks and unpredictable weather conditions. One story from the set tells how a perfectly choreographed car jump had to be redone several times because of changing light or small obstacles, showing just how much effort went into making these scenes believable. Jason Statham, who plays Frank Martin, is well known for doing many of his own stunts, and Transporter 3 was no exception. His dedication to physical performance added a layer of realism to the fight scenes and driving sequences. During filming, Statham spent hours training and preparing to make sure he could handle the demanding action. There are anecdotes from the set about him insisting on doing difficult car maneuvers himself, even when producers suggested using stunt doubles. This hands-on approach helped make the movie feel authentic but also meant the shooting schedule had to accommodate longer takes and extra safety measures. Statham's commitment is a key reason why his character comes across as both tough and believable. Another fascinating aspect involves the filming locations. Transporter 3 was shot in several countries, including France, Ukraine, and Slovakia. Shooting in Ukraine presented unique challenges, partly due to the local environment and infrastructure. The crew had to adapt to different road conditions and sometimes limited resources compared to more typical filming hubs. In addition, working in Eastern Europe meant dealing with language barriers and cultural differences, which required flexibility and good communication among the international team. The choice to film in these locations wasn't just for aesthetics, it added a genuine feel to the movie's atmosphere. The gritty, industrial backdrops of Ukraine, in particular, contributed to the story's darker tone and sense of danger. One interesting bit of trivia is related to the casting of Valentina, played by Natalya Rudakova. Rudakova was not a professional actress before landing this role, discovered through a chance encounter with the film's director, Louis Leterrier. She was spotted in New York and brought in for a screen test, impressing the team with her natural presence and charisma. This unusual casting choice brought fresh energy to the film, and Rudakova's performance was praised for its mix of vulnerability and strength, even though she was new to acting. Her story shows how sometimes unexpected discoveries can lead to memorable performances in big movies. The production also dealt with some unexpected problems during filming. For example, the high-speed car sequences required multiple cars to be on set at the same time, and coordinating their movements was complex. There were reports of close calls and near misses, although no serious accidents occurred. The stunt team had to be extremely careful, especially in scenes where cars raced through crowded city streets. These logistical challenges extended to the post-production process, where editing the fast-moving footage to maintain clarity and excitement took a lot of time and skill. Musically, the film took some creative risks as well. The soundtrack, blending electronic and orchestral elements, was designed to match the fast pace and emotional beats of the story. Composer Alexandra Azaria worked closely with the director to ensure the music supported the film's energy without overpowering the scenes. Some fans might not realize that particular tracks were specifically crafted to enhance key moments, such as car chases or tense confrontations. This attention to detail in the score helped Transporter 3 stand out among other action films of its time. There were also moments during production when creative decisions sparked debate among the team. For example, some early ideas for the script involved more complex plot twists or additional characters, but these were streamlined to keep the focus on Frank and Valentina's story. The director wanted to balance character development with non-stop action, which sometimes meant cutting scenes that didn't move the story forward quickly enough. These choices shaped the final film's tight pacing and clear narrative. Behind the scenes, the relationship between the cast and crew was reportedly positive, with Jason Statham often praised for his professionalism and good humor. Despite the intense nature of the shoot, the atmosphere on set was said to be collaborative and focused. The presence of long-time collaborators, including stunt coordinators and production designers who understood the franchise's style, helped maintain consistency throughout the film. This teamwork contributed to a smooth production process even when facing the inevitable pressures of making a high-octane action movie. One unusual controversy related to Transporter 3 involved its marketing and title in some regions. In certain countries, the film was promoted differently to appeal to local audiences, sometimes highlighting different aspects of the story or using alternate taglines. This led to some confusion among viewers about what to expect, but also showed how international marketing strategies can vary widely depending on culture and market preferences. Despite this, the film maintained a consistent identity thanks to its strong central character and signature action style. Another strange fact concerns the vehicles used in the movie. The black Audi A8, Frank's main car, was specially modified to handle the demanding stunts. The production team worked closely with car specialists to create versions that could perform extreme maneuvers safely. Interestingly, some of the cars used were prototypes or limited editions, making them rare even off-screen. This attention to automotive detail is part of what makes the Transporter series beloved by car enthusiasts, who appreciate the realism and style brought to the driving scenes. Overall, the making of Transporter 3 was a complex mix of creative ambition, technical skill, and occasional unpredictability. The combination of real stunts, strong performances, challenging locations, and thoughtful production decisions created a film that feels authentic and exciting. These behind-the-scenes stories and unique facts help explain why the movie continues to be enjoyed by fans and stands out as a memorable entry in the action genre. From Jason Statham's dedication to the surprising casting of Natalya Rudakova, every piece of the puzzle contributed to a film that's more than just fast cars and fights. It's a product of hard work, chance, and creative vision coming together on screen. Transporter 3 opens with a sense of urgency that immediately pulls viewers into a world where precision, danger, and high stakes coexist. Early on, the film sets the tone through carefully crafted scenes that not only showcase thrilling action but also hint at deeper emotional layers beneath the surface. One such key scene is the moment when Frank Martin receives the mysterious package, Valentina, which instantly challenges his usual detached professionalism. This event marks a turning point, signaling that this mission will test not only his skills but also his personal code. The way the scene is framed, with tight shots on Frank's focused expressions, communicates his inner conflict without needing much dialogue. This subtle character introduction effectively prepares the audience for the complexity that unfolds. The emotional weight of the story begins to build as Frank and Valentina navigate their uneasy alliance. Their interactions are loaded with tension but also moments of vulnerability that reveal their humanity. For example, the scenes where Valentina opens up about her father's situation and the dangers they face create empathy, allowing viewers to see her as more than just a hostage. This emotional grounding adds depth to what could otherwise be a straightforward action plot. The filmmakers use close-ups and softer lighting during these exchanges to highlight the growing trust and connection between the characters, making their partnership feel earned rather than forced. Another important moment worth analyzing is the high-speed car chase sequences, which are central to the film's identity. These scenes serve multiple purposes beyond pure spectacle. They represent Frank's struggle to maintain control in a world that is rapidly spiraling out of his grasp. The choreography of the driving, precise yet risky, mirrors his internal battle between sticking to his rules and adapting to unforeseen threats. The editing rhythm, combined with sound design emphasizing the roar of engines and screeching tires, immerses the audience in the tension. This immersive experience heightens the emotional stakes, making viewers not just observers but participants in Frank's fight for survival. The film also cleverly uses foreshadowing to build suspense and deepen the narrative. Early glimpses of General Kasanov's calm but cold demeanor hint at the menace he represents, setting up expectations for a confrontation that is as psychological as it is physical. The way the antagonist is portrayed through brief but meaningful scenes gives the audience a sense of looming danger without revealing too much too soon. This approach maintains mystery and keeps viewers engaged, wondering how and when Frank will face this threat head-on. The gradual escalation of tension through these subtle hints is a strong storytelling choice that pays off in the film's climax. Speaking of the climax, it is a carefully constructed sequence that brings together the movie's thematic concerns and emotional journeys. The showdown between Frank and Kasanov is not just a battle of strength but a confrontation of ideals, control versus corruption, order versus chaos. The intensity of the fight scenes is balanced by moments that highlight Frank's motivations beyond self-preservation, such as protecting Valentina and exposing the truth. These layers make the climax resonate more deeply with the audience, as it becomes clear that the stakes extend beyond personal survival to a fight for justice. The use of tight framing during their confrontation emphasizes the personal nature of this conflict, making it more impactful. Throughout the film, moments of quiet reflection punctuate the fast pace, giving space for characters to develop and themes to emerge. Scenes where Frank contemplates his next move or where Valentina reflects on her father's fate provide emotional breathing room that prevents the story from feeling purely mechanical. These quieter moments enrich the narrative by showing the human side of characters caught in extreme situations. The balance between action and introspection ensures that the film appeals not just to fans of adrenaline but also to viewers who appreciate character-driven stories. Another critical perspective involves how the movie handles themes of trust and betrayal. Frank's journey involves learning to trust others despite his initial reluctance, a shift that is essential for his growth. Valentina's role challenges traditional gender stereotypes often found in action films, portraying her as resourceful and brave rather than helpless. The dynamic between the two characters challenges the viewer's expectations and adds complexity to the narrative. The betrayals that occur later in the story serve to reinforce these themes, emphasizing that trust is fragile but necessary. This thematic layer enriches the story's emotional resonance and keeps the audience invested in the characters' fates. Visually, the movie uses color and lighting to reinforce mood and tone in subtle ways. For example, colder, bluish hues dominate scenes of danger and conflict, while warmer tones appear during moments of connection and hope. This deliberate use of color supports the narrative without distracting from it, enhancing the overall atmosphere. The cinematography also makes effective use of framing to communicate power dynamics, such as shots where Frank is isolated in wide shots to show vulnerability or framed tightly with Valentina to indicate partnership. These visual choices contribute to storytelling by creating an unspoken language that audiences can feel even if they don't consciously notice it. The soundtrack plays an important role in shaping the audience's emotional experience. Music swells at key moments, heightening tension or underscoring emotional beats. The blend of electronic and orchestral sounds mirrors the film's balance between modern technology and human emotion. For instance, during the action sequences, fast-paced rhythms keep the energy high, while softer melodies in quieter scenes allow the characters' inner struggles to come forward. This musical storytelling supports the narrative flow and helps viewers stay connected to the characters' journeys. Finally, the film's resolution ties together the emotional and thematic threads in a way that feels satisfying but not overly neat. Frank's decision to complete the mission despite great personal risk reflects his transformation from a man who follows rules blindly to someone who acts with purpose and empathy. Valentina's survival and the exposure of the corruption highlight the film's message about courage and standing up for what is right. The ending leaves room for reflection on the cost of these actions, adding weight to the story's conclusion. In sum, Transporter 3 uses its key scenes and events not just to entertain but to explore ideas about trust, control, and resilience. The combination of strong performances, thoughtful direction, and careful technical choices creates a movie that resonates emotionally while delivering the thrills audiences expect. By balancing action with character development and thematic depth, the film offers an experience that engages both the heart and the mind. This approach ensures that the story stays with viewers long after the final credits roll, making it a memorable entry in the action genre. Transporter 3's production journey was marked by a blend of creative ambition and technical expertise that shaped the film's distinctive style and energy. From the early planning stages, the filmmakers knew that the movie needed to deliver high-octane action while maintaining a polished, realistic feel. This balance required a series of deliberate choices both in front of and behind the camera, as well as close collaboration between departments. One of the most significant technical feats was the commitment to practical effects, especially for the car chases and stunts that define the Transporter series. Rather than relying heavily on CGI, the production team focused on real cars, driven by professional stunt drivers and even Jason Statham himself, who insisted on performing many of his own driving sequences. This choice brought authenticity and a tangible sense of danger to the film, but it also introduced a series of challenges that required careful coordination and innovation. Filming the high-speed car chases on narrow European roads was no easy task. The crew had to scout and prepare routes in multiple countries, including France, Ukraine, and Slovakia, each presenting its own logistical hurdles. For example, shooting in Ukraine brought unique obstacles like variable road conditions and limited infrastructure for large film productions. The team had to work closely with local authorities to secure permissions and ensure safety during the complex stunts. Weather also played a role in shaping the filming schedule, with rain and fog occasionally forcing delays or changes in shooting plans. Despite these challenges, the filmmakers turned the locations into assets, using the contrasting landscapes and urban environments to enhance the movie's visual storytelling. The gritty, industrial feel of some Ukrainian settings, for example, added a darker tone that suited the film's themes of corruption and danger. The design and modification of Frank Martin's signature car, the Audi A8, was another highlight of the production. This wasn't just a prop, it was a central element of the story and needed to perform demanding stunts while looking sleek and believable. The car was extensively modified to handle high-speed maneuvers, jumps, and crashes safely. The technical team worked with automotive specialists to reinforce the chassis, upgrade the suspension, and fine-tune the engine performance. Multiple versions of the car were used for different scenes, including ones rigged for specific stunts or equipped with remote controls for risky shots. This attention to detail ensured that the car's on-screen action looked both exciting and realistic, contributing significantly to the film's impact. Behind the scenes, the coordination between the stunt team and the camera crew was crucial for capturing the thrilling sequences effectively. Innovative camera rigs and techniques were employed to put viewers in the driver's seat, creating immersive shots that follow the cars closely and showcase the skill involved in the stunts. For example, specialized mounting systems allowed cameras to be placed on vehicles moving at high speeds without compromising stability or image quality. These setups required meticulous planning and practice to execute safely. The cinematographers and directors worked closely with the stunt drivers to choreograph each movement, ensuring that the action flowed smoothly and remained visually engaging. The fight scenes in Transporter 3 also demonstrate a blend of choreography and technical skill. Jason Statham's background in martial arts and physical training was a significant advantage, allowing the filmmakers to design combat sequences that looked fluid and believable. The choreography focused on realism rather than flashy moves, emphasizing efficiency and impact. To capture these moments, the crew used a mix of handheld and steady camera work, sometimes employing slow motion to highlight key strikes without losing momentum. The lighting and set design complemented the fights by creating atmospheres that felt tense and gritty. These choices made the action sequences stand out not only for their physicality but also for their storytelling power. Sound design played an essential role in enhancing the movie's atmosphere and excitement. The production team invested time in capturing authentic engine noises, tire screeches, and environmental sounds to make the scenes come alive. Layered with the musical score, these audio elements built tension and helped guide the audience's emotional response. The sound editors also faced the challenge of balancing intense action sounds with dialogue and quieter moments, ensuring that important story beats were never lost amid the chaos. This careful audio mixing contributed to a well-rounded cinematic experience that kept viewers engaged from start to finish. Another notable production insight involves the film's use of lighting and color to reinforce mood and theme. The cinematographers chose specific palettes to reflect the story's emotional shifts, with colder, muted tones dominating scenes of conflict and warmer hues appearing during moments of connection and hope. This approach was subtle but effective, providing a visual language that supported the narrative without drawing attention to itself. The lighting setups also varied depending on location, using natural light when possible to enhance realism and carefully controlled studio lighting for more stylized sequences. These technical choices help create a visual rhythm that matched the pacing of the story. One behind-the-scenes anecdote that stands out involves a challenging sequence where Frank's car must drive along a narrow road with little room for error. The stunt driver rehearsed the maneuver multiple times, often with the crew adjusting camera angles and safety measures to get the perfect shot. On one occasion, a minor miscalculation almost resulted in the car brushing against a guardrail, but quick reflexes and teamwork prevented an accident. Stories like this highlight the dedication and professionalism of everyone involved in making the action look seamless and thrilling. Post-production was another phase where technical expertise made a difference. The editors faced the task of weaving together fast-paced action with moments of character development and suspense. Balancing these elements required careful timing and rhythm to maintain audience engagement without overwhelming them. Visual effects were used sparingly, mostly to enhance practical stunts or clean up shots rather than create artificial sequences. This restraint helped preserve the film's grounded feel. Color grading in post-production further refined the film's mood, enhancing the contrast between the brighter, safer spaces and the darker, more dangerous environments. Costume and set design also contributed to the film's authenticity. Frank's wardrobe, for example, reflected his professional and no-nonsense personality, with practical clothing that allowed freedom of movement and underscored his role as a skilled driver and fighter. Valentina's costumes balanced vulnerability with strength, evolving throughout the story to mirror her character arc. The sets, from sleek modern interiors to gritty industrial locations, were carefully chosen and dressed to support the story's tone and world-building. In all, the making of Transporter 3 is a story of collaboration and technical mastery. Each department, from stunts and cinematography to sound and design, played a crucial role in creating a film that delivers excitement while feeling authentic and polished. The production's commitment to practical effects and attention to detail helped set it apart in the action genre, providing viewers with a thrilling experience that stands the test of time. The challenges faced and overcome during filming only add to the appreciation of the final product, showcasing the creativity and skill behind every high-speed chase and fight scene. This blend of artistry and technical achievement is what ultimately gives Transporter 3 its lasting appeal. Transporter 3 is more than just an action movie filled with fast cars and intense fights. It carries deeper themes that connect to real-world issues and human experiences. At its heart, the story revolves around control and freedom, ideas that play out through the characters and the situations they face. Frank Martin, the main character, is someone who values rules and order. He's a professional who likes to keep things precise and predictable. But as the story unfolds, we see how this control is challenged by forces beyond his grasp, forcing him to rethink what freedom really means. This tension between control and chaos is a central theme that runs through the entire film, shaping both the plot and the characters' journeys. The way Frank is forced into situations where he loses control reflects a broader human experience, the struggle between wanting to maintain stability and facing unpredictable challenges. His profession as a transporter involves moving things from one place to another without questions, representing a kind of detachment from the world's chaos. Yet, when he is confronted with Valentina's situation, he can no longer stay distant. This shift highlights another important theme: responsibility. The movie suggests that freedom isn't just about being able to do whatever you want, it's also about taking responsibility for the people and situations around you. Frank's transformation from a detached professional to someone who acts out of care and moral conviction mirrors a real-world journey many people face when confronted with difficult ethical choices. Valentina, the woman Frank must protect, embodies vulnerability but also resilience. Her character challenges the typical damsel in distress trope found in many action films. Instead of being a passive victim, she shows moments of courage and quick thinking, symbolizing the strength that can emerge even in dangerous circumstances. Her relationship with her father, who has been poisoned and whose fate hangs in the balance, adds another layer of meaning related to family bonds and sacrifice. The movie uses this personal story to explore how far people are willing to go to protect their loved ones, a theme that resonates across cultures and societies. The film also explores themes of trust and betrayal, which are woven deeply into the narrative. Throughout the story, Frank must decide whom to trust, often facing deception from those he least expects. This highlights the fragile nature of trust in a world driven by greed and power. The villain, General Kasanoff, represents corruption and abuse of authority, serving as a symbol of oppressive power structures that exploit others for personal gain. His cold, calculating behavior contrasts sharply with Frank's evolving sense of justice, underscoring the moral battle at the core of the film. This conflict can be seen as a commentary on real-world issues of corruption and the struggle for integrity in the face of systemic wrongdoing. Symbolism plays a significant role in reinforcing these themes. The car, especially Frank's Audi, is more than just a vehicle. It represents freedom, control, and identity. Throughout the film, the car serves as a symbol of Frank's skill and independence, allowing him to navigate dangerous situations with precision. Yet, as the story progresses, the car also becomes a site of vulnerability, reflecting how even the most controlled elements of life can be threatened. The physical damage to the car during chases and crashes parallels Frank's own challenges and the idea that freedom often comes at a cost. This symbolic connection between man and machine deepens the emotional impact of the action scenes, making them more than just visual spectacle. The poisoning of Valentina's father adds a layer of urgency that symbolizes the broader consequences of corruption and unchecked power. His life hanging in the balance acts as a metaphor for the fragility of justice and truth in a corrupt system. The race against time to save him reflects the struggle to protect what is good and just before it is destroyed by greed and violence. This plot device connects the personal story to larger societal concerns, reminding viewers that individual lives are often caught in the crossfire of bigger conflicts. The movie also touches on themes of identity and transformation. Frank starts as a man who follows rules strictly, seeing his job as a way to stay detached. But the events force him to question who he is and what he stands for. This personal growth is mirrored in Valentina's journey from a scared hostage to an active participant in her own rescue. Their evolving relationship symbolizes how trust and cooperation can lead to change and healing. This theme of transformation is common in many stories, but Transporter 3 presents it in a way that feels natural and connected to the action-driven plot. From a cultural perspective, the film reflects certain societal tensions, especially around power, control, and resistance. The portrayal of corrupt officials and shadowy organizations taps into common anxieties about abuse of authority and the difficulty of achieving justice. These elements resonate with viewers who have experienced or witnessed similar struggles in real life. At the same time, the film celebrates individual courage and determination, suggesting that even in a corrupt world, people can make a difference by standing up for what is right. This message offers a hopeful counterpoint to the darker themes, encouraging viewers to believe in the possibility of change. The setting of the movie also adds to its thematic depth. The various locations, from sleek European cities to rougher industrial areas, serve as a backdrop that reflects the clash between modernity and decay, order and chaos. These contrasting environments visually represent the conflicts within the story, reinforcing the idea that the world is a place of competing forces. The film's use of lighting and color further supports this, with cold, harsh lighting during moments of danger and softer tones when characters connect. These visual choices create a mood that helps the audience feel the tension and relief experienced by the characters. Transporter 3 also subtly explores the idea of fate versus free will. Frank's profession depends on rules and contracts, suggesting a world where actions are predictable and controlled. However, the unexpected twists and betrayals in the plot challenge this notion, showing that life is often uncertain and beyond full control. The characters' decisions, especially Frank's choice to break his own rules to protect Valentina, highlight the importance of free will and moral courage in shaping one's destiny. This theme encourages viewers to think about how much control they really have over their lives and the role of personal responsibility. Another symbolic element worth noting is the recurring presence of time pressure throughout the film. The ticking clock created by Valentina's father's poisoning adds constant urgency to the narrative. This sense of running out of time symbolizes the pressure people feel in crisis situations, both personally and socially. It heightens the stakes and keeps the audience engaged, but it also reflects real-life experiences where decisions must be made quickly and with limited information. This motif ties back to the themes of control and chaos, showing how even the best plans can be disrupted by unforeseen circumstances. The movie's attention to relationships, whether between Frank and Valentina, Valentina and her father, or Frank and the antagonists, underscores the importance of human connection in overcoming challenges. These bonds drive the story forward and give emotional weight to the action. The evolving trust between Frank and Valentina shows how cooperation can bridge differences and create strength. Meanwhile, the corrupt relationships on the villain's side highlight how power can isolate and destroy. This contrast emphasizes the film's message about the value of integrity and empathy. In the end, Transporter 3 is a story about facing challenges head-on and making difficult choices for the greater good. Its themes of control, freedom, trust, and transformation are woven naturally into the plot and character arcs, making the film more than just an action thriller. By using symbolism and exploring social issues like corruption and responsibility, The movie invites viewers to think beyond the surface and connect with the characters' struggles on a deeper level. This thoughtful approach adds layers to the story, helping it resonate emotionally and intellectually with its audience. Transporter 3 unfolds as much through its visual and auditory language as through its dialogue and plot, creating an immersive world where every frame and sound contributes to the story's rhythm and emotion. From the very first scenes, the movie establishes a style that combines sleek modernity with raw intensity, reflecting the film's themes of control, speed, and danger. This is achieved through careful choices in camera work, editing, sound design, and music, all of which work together to pull the audience deeply into Frank Martin's fast-paced and high-stakes world. The film's visual style leans heavily on clean, sharp imagery that matches Frank's precise and calculated nature. The cinematography often uses tight framing on Frank, emphasizing his focus and control, while wider shots contrast this by showing the chaotic environments he must navigate. This balance between close-ups and expansive views helps communicate the tension between order and disorder that runs throughout the story. For example, scenes where Frank is alone in his car often use confined framing and steady camera movements to reflect his internal discipline. Meanwhile, chase sequences and moments of conflict are captured with dynamic, often handheld camera work that creates a sense of immediacy and urgency. The camera movements during the action sequences deserve particular attention. They are carefully choreographed to keep viewers on the edge of their seats without becoming disorienting. The use of tracking shots follows the cars smoothly through narrow streets and tight corners, giving a visceral feeling of speed and skill. In some instances, the camera is mounted directly on vehicles, putting the audience in the driver's seat and allowing them to experience the rush firsthand. This technique not only heightens excitement but also strengthens the connection between viewers and Frank, making his challenges feel more personal and intense. The pacing of these shots is deliberate, with quick cuts interspersed with longer takes that showcase the precision of the stunts and driving. Editing plays a key role in shaping the film's tone and flow. The editors strike a careful balance between fast cuts that build adrenaline during action scenes and slower transitions that allow emotional moments to breathe. This rhythm helps maintain audience engagement by varying intensity rather than overwhelming with non-stop action. For example, quieter scenes between Frank and Valentina are edited with longer shots and minimal cuts, letting their expressions and subtle interactions carry emotional weight. In contrast, the climactic chase and fight sequences use rapid cuts, close-ups, and cross-cutting to create tension and highlight multiple storylines converging. This editing style not only serves the narrative but also supports the thematic contrast between control and chaos. Sound design in Transporter 3 is another crucial element that enhances the storytelling. From the roar of engines to the screech of tires and the clash of fists, the sound effects are carefully crafted to immerse the audience fully in each scene. The film avoids overusing loud, exaggerated noises, instead opting for authentic sounds that make the action believable. This choice grounds the movie in reality, making the stakes feel higher because the danger seems tangible. Subtle ambient sounds, such as city noises or the hum of machinery, add texture to the environments, enriching the world building without distracting from the main action. The musical score complements the sound design by adding emotional layers and driving the narrative forward. The soundtrack blends electronic beats with orchestral elements, reflecting the film's mix of modern technology and human emotion. During high-energy chase scenes, pulsating rhythms intensify the pace, encouraging viewers to feel the rush alongside the characters. In quieter, more introspective moments, the music softens to underscore vulnerability and tension. This dynamic use of music helps guide the audience's emotional journey, ensuring that scenes resonate beyond just their visual impact. Lighting and color grading further define the movie's visual language. The filmmakers use lighting to mirror the story's emotional landscape. Scenes of danger and confrontation often feature cooler, harsher lighting with blue or gray tones, creating a sense of coldness and threat. In contrast, moments of connection or safety are bathed in warmer, softer light, suggesting hope and trust. This careful use of color not only enhances mood but also subtly informs the audience about shifts in tone and character relationships. The contrast between sleek, polished interiors and gritty, industrial exteriors also reinforces the tension between order and chaos within the story's world. Costume and production design contribute to the visual storytelling by reflecting character personalities and themes. Frank's wardrobe is simple and practical, highlighting his no-nonsense attitude and readiness for action. Valentina's clothing evolves throughout the film, shifting from vulnerable to empowered, visually marking her transformation. The settings, from luxury apartments to abandoned warehouses, are chosen and dressed to create distinct atmospheres that support the narrative. These visual details help ground the story in a believable world and give depth to the characters' journeys. Director Olivier Megaton's vision is clear in the way these elements come together seamlessly. His style favors clarity and precision, avoiding flashy or confusing visuals that could detract from the story. Instead, the film's cinematic language focuses on immersing viewers in the experience while maintaining narrative coherence. Megaton's background in music videos and commercials shines through in the film's rhythmic pacing and stylish visuals, but he balances this with strong storytelling that keeps the characters and their stakes at the center. This approach makes Transporter 3 feel both exciting and emotionally engaging. One unique stylistic choice is the film's use of tension-building techniques beyond just fast-paced action. For example, moments of silence or minimal sound are used strategically to heighten anticipation before a big event. The camera might linger on a character's face or a seemingly ordinary object, creating unease that something important is about to happen. These pauses in the action allow viewers to catch their breath and prepare emotionally for what comes next, making the subsequent payoff more satisfying. This technique also adds texture to the pacing, ensuring that the film doesn't feel like a constant barrage but rather a carefully crafted experience. The interplay between camera angles and character perspective is another way the film enhances storytelling. Point-of-view shots, especially during driving sequences, invite the audience to see the world through Frank's eyes, increasing empathy and involvement. Low-angle shots often emphasize Frank's strength and control, while high-angle shots can show vulnerability or danger. These choices subtly influence how viewers perceive the characters and events, guiding emotional responses without overt explanation. Visual effects are used sparingly but effectively to support the film's realism. Instead of creating entirely CGI-driven action, effects are primarily employed to enhance practical stunts or clean-up shots, maintaining a grounded feel. This restraint helps the movie avoid the artificial look that can sometimes pull audiences out of the experience. When visual effects are noticeable, they serve to intensify moments rather than overshadow them, supporting the overall tone. The color palette chosen throughout the film further reinforces its visual storytelling. Muted tones dominate the environments, emphasizing the serious and sometimes bleak nature of the plot. Splashes of color appear selectively, drawing attention to key objects or characters. For example, Valentina's bright clothing in certain scenes contrasts with the dull surroundings, highlighting her importance and vulnerability. This use of color directs the viewer's eye and supports narrative focus without distracting from the action. Another technical aspect that contributes to the film style is the sound mixing, which balances dialogue, effects, and music with care. In busy action scenes, the mix ensures that important lines are still clear, allowing the story to progress even amid chaos. Quiet moments benefit from a cleaner soundscape, letting small sounds carry emotional weight. This attention to detail in audio helps maintain immersion and emotional connection throughout the movie. In the end, Transporter 3's cinematic techniques and visual language work together to create a cohesive and engaging experience. The film's camera work, editing, sound design, music, lighting, and color all serve the story's themes and characters, making the action feel personal and meaningful. Director Olivier Megaton's choices show a commitment to clarity and emotion, ensuring that the movie is not just a spectacle but a well-rounded piece of storytelling. These elements combine to draw the audience into Frank Martin's world, where every sound, shot, and shadow contributes to the fast-paced, tense, and ultimately human story that unfolds. The success of Transporter 3 owes a great deal to the chemistry between its cast members, which helped bring the characters and story to life in a way that felt genuine and engaging. Jason Statham, returning as Frank Martin, carried the role with his usual blend of intensity and cool detachment, but it was a dynamic he shared with the other actors that added depth to the movie. One of the key relationships was between Statham and Natalya Rudakova, who played Valentina. Their on-screen interaction balanced tension and trust, creating a believable connection that grew as the story progressed. Though Rudakova was relatively new to acting, her natural presence and ability to respond to Statham's energy made their partnership feel authentic, which was crucial since much of the plot revolved around Frank protecting and ultimately trusting Valentina. Behind the scenes, the cast's interactions helped build this chemistry. Interviews with Jason Statham reveal that he was supportive of Rudakova's learning curve, often giving her advice on how to handle action scenes and emotional moments. Statham's experience and calm presence on set seemed to put the newer actors at ease, creating a collaborative atmosphere. The crew frequently mentioned how Statham's professionalism set the tone for the entire production, helping maintain focus despite the long hours and challenging stunts. This supportive environment translated into the performances, where the characters' relationships felt lived in rather than scripted. Another important figure in the cast was Robert Knepper, who played the villainous General Kasanoff. Knepper's portrayal brought a chilling intensity to the role, contrasting sharply with Statham's controlled demeanor. The tension between these two characters was palpable on screen, partly because the actors brought a mutual respect and willingness to play off each other's energy. Knepper's preparation for the role included studying military behavior and body language to create a believable and intimidating antagonist, which raised the stakes for the story. His scenes with Statham crackled with hostility and strategy, highlighting the deeper conflict between order and corruption that drives the plot. The chemistry was not limited to the leads. Supporting actors, like François Bellind as Inspector Tarconi, provided balance and humor, lightening the tone at key moments and offering a grounded, human presence amid the high-speed chaos. Bellind's friendly rapport with Statham added warmth to their scenes together, making the interactions feel like real friendships rather than just scripted dialogue. These lighter moments gave audiences a break from the tension and made the characters more relatable, enriching the overall experience. Behind the scenes, the production faced various challenges that brought the cast and crew closer together. Filming the movie's many car chases and stunt sequences required precision and trust, not just in the drivers but in the entire team coordinating safety and timing. Jason Statham performed many of his own stunts, which impressed the crew and helped build camaraderie. His commitment to authenticity inspired others to push themselves, creating a shared sense of purpose. The tight schedule and physical demands sometimes led to long days on set, but the cast often bonded over meals or downtime, sharing stories and supporting one another. One particularly memorable story from the set involved a challenging stunt sequence that required careful coordination between the driver, camera operators, and safety personnel. During this shoot, a sudden technical glitch almost caused a delay, but the team's quick thinking and cooperation allowed them to adjust and complete the scene successfully. These moments of teamwork were common throughout the production and helped foster a spirit of resilience and trust, which viewers can sense in the polished final product. Interviews with the crew also highlight the director Olivier Megaton's approach to managing the cast and production. Megaton was known for his hands-on style, encouraging actors to explore their characters while maintaining a tight focus on the action's choreography. His background in directing music videos meant he had a strong sense of pacing and style, which translated into clear guidance for the actors during intense sequences. This balance between creative freedom and discipline helped the cast deliver performances that felt both spontaneous and precise. Audience reactions to Transporter 3 have been varied but generally positive, especially among fans of the action genre. Upon its release, viewers appreciated the film's high-energy sequences and Statham's charismatic presence. Many praised the chemistry between the leads, noting that it brought emotional weight to what could have been a straightforward action movie. The dynamic between Frank and Valentina, in particular, stood out as a highlight, with viewers responding to their evolving trust and partnership. Critics often pointed out that while the plot followed familiar action thriller formulas, the performances and stylistic choices elevated the film above typical genre fare. The balance of action and character moments helped the movie maintain interest throughout its runtime. Over time, Transporter 3 has developed a loyal fanbase that appreciates its mix of thrills and character-driven storytelling. Fans frequently cite the car chases and fight scenes as some of the best in the series, praising the practical effects and stunt work. On social media and fan forums, discussions often revolve around the chemistry between Statham and Rudakova, with many viewers expressing surprise and delight at how well their pairing worked despite her relative inexperience. This enthusiasm helped boost the film's reputation, as word of mouth encouraged new viewers to give it a chance. The supporting cast also receives recognition, particularly for their contributions to balancing tone and adding humor. The film's reception has seen ups and downs, with some criticism directed at the story's predictability, but even detractors often acknowledge the strong performances and technical achievements. Over the years, Transporter 3 has become a staple for fans of the franchise and the action genre, with repeated viewings revealing new details and appreciating the teamwork behind the scenes. Special edition releases and interviews have provided additional insights, keeping interest alive and deepening appreciation for the cast's efforts. Fan events and conventions have occasionally featured appearances by cast members, where stories about the production and character interactions offer a glimpse into the camaraderie that helped shape the movie. These events highlight how the cast's chemistry off-screen contributed to their on-screen relationships, enriching the viewing experience. Interviews reveal that the actors enjoyed working together despite the physical demands and occasional frustrations, viewing the project as a shared adventure. In summary, the chemistry between the cast members of Transporter 3 created a foundation that enriched the film's narrative and emotional impact. Behind the scenes, a collaborative and supportive atmosphere allowed actors and crew to bring their best to the project, overcoming challenges through teamwork. Audience reactions, both at release and over time, reflect an appreciation for these qualities, recognizing the film as a well-crafted action thriller with heart and style. The combined efforts of the cast, crew, and director have left a lasting impression, making Transporter 3 a memorable entry in the action movie world. Transporter 3 holds a unique place in the world of action cinema, not just as another installment in a popular franchise, but as a film that contributed to shaping the style and expectations of modern action movies in the late 2000s and beyond. Its influence extends beyond the screen, affecting how action sequences were conceived, how characters were portrayed in similar genres, and even impacting popular culture in subtle yet significant ways. The movie's legacy is woven into the broader fabric of action filmmaking, with its blend of high-speed car chases, practical stunts, and a grounded, no-nonsense hero continuing to resonate with audiences and creators alike. At its core, Transporter 3 reinforced and popularized a style of action filmmaking that balances sleek, well-choreographed sequences with a strong, silent protagonist who relies on skill and intelligence rather than superpowers or excessive gadgetry. Jason Statham's portrayal of Frank Martin, especially in this third film, emphasized a kind of cool efficiency and moral code that influenced many action heroes that followed. Unlike earlier action stars who often leaned heavily on brute strength or exaggerated bravado, Frank's character was defined by precision, control, and a certain quiet confidence. This approach helped shift the genre towards heroes who were more grounded and relatable, even amidst the chaos of explosions and high-speed chases. Transporter 3's approach to practical stunts and real driving sequences also left a mark on how action scenes were staged in subsequent films. At a time when CGI was becoming increasingly prevalent, the film's dedication to performing many stunts practically added a level of authenticity that fans appreciated and filmmakers took note of. The car chases, which combined skilled driving with tight choreography and dynamic camera work, became a reference point for later productions aiming to achieve excitement without sacrificing realism. This emphasis on real-world effects helped maintain coordination, choreography, and practical effects were often highlighted in industry discussions, earning respect from peers and specialists who understood the difficulty of executing such sequences safely and convincingly. This respect helped cement the movie's status as a technically accomplished production that raised the bar for similar films. The movie also played a role in shaping the careers of some of its cast and crew. For Jason Statham, it reinforced his status as a bankable lead in action cinema, opening doors to further high-profile projects. For director Olivier Megaton, the film showcased his ability to handle complex action scenes with clarity and style, helping him land future work in the genre. These career impacts contribute to the film's legacy, as the talents it helped highlight continue to influence cinema. Audience appreciation for Transporter 3 has grown over time, with many viewers revisiting the film to relive its thrilling moments and strong performances. Fan communities and online discussions celebrate the movie's blend of action and character work, often citing it as a favorite among Statham's films. This ongoing engagement reflects the movie's lasting appeal and its success in connecting with viewers beyond its initial release window. It stands as a reminder of a particular era in action filmmaking, marked by a return to practical effects and focused storytelling. Transporter 3's legacy is also tied to its role in representing European-influenced action cinema on a global stage. The film, with its French production roots and international cast, demonstrated that action movies could transcend Hollywood norms while still appealing to worldwide audiences. This cross-cultural appeal contributed to the diversification of the genre, encouraging more international collaborations and varied storytelling approaches in action films that followed. In retrospect, Transporter 3 can be seen as a film that quietly influenced its genre through a combination of style, substance, and technical prowess. It did not reinvent action cinema overnight, but it helped reinforce important trends that shaped the way these movies were made and received. Its practical stunts, character-driven storytelling, and cool, competent hero became templates that others adapted and built upon. The movie's legacy is not just in its thrilling car chases or fight scenes, but in the way it balanced excitement with humanity, making action feel smart, stylish, and accessible. Ultimately, Transporter 3's place in film history is secured by its ability to connect with audiences on multiple levels, through adrenaline-pumping sequences, well-drawn characters, and a clear, confident style. It stands as a testament to the enduring appeal of grounded action heroes and practical filmmaking techniques. Its influence can still be felt in contemporary action movies that prioritize skillful choreography and emotional resonance over spectacle alone. For fans and filmmakers alike, Transporter 3 remains a meaningful and influential chapter in the evolution of the modern action thriller. Transporter 3 is a movie that stands out for many reasons, combining exciting action, memorable characters, and a story that keeps you engaged from start to finish. It builds on the strength of the earlier films in the series, yet brings its own flavor with fresh challenges, new relationships, and daring stunts. The film showcases Jason Statham's unique take on the action hero, a man of skill, focus, and a strong sense of right and wrong. His character, Frank Martin, is not just about fighting or chasing, he is about control, precision, and protecting what matters most. This balance between action and heart is what makes the film resonate with so many viewers. The story moves at a fast pace but never loses sight of the characters' motivations. Frank's journey in this film is as much about trust and loyalty as it is about speed and strength. The introduction of Valentina adds a new dynamic, giving Frank someone to connect with beyond his usual lone wolf style. Their relationship adds emotional depth that raises the stakes and makes the action scenes even more meaningful. The villains are well drawn, with enough menace to keep the tension high without overshadowing the leads. Together, these elements create a thrilling narrative that feels both familiar and fresh. Visually, the movie impresses with its practical stunts and high-energy car chases that feel real and intense. The decision to use real effects over CGI whenever possible adds authenticity and keeps the audience on the edge of their seats. The tight editing and strong camera work ensure that every action moment hits hard and keeps you involved. The mix of close combat and vehicle sequences provides variety and excitement, making sure there is never a dull moment. This technical skill is a big part of why Transporter 3 remains a favorite among action fans. Behind the scenes, the chemistry between the cast and the dedication of the crew contributed greatly to the film's success. Jason Statham's experience and leadership helped guide newer actors, creating a supportive environment that translated into believable performances. The director's clear vision and commitment to practical filmmaking made the action sequences stand out as some of the best in the series. This teamwork and attention to detail show in the final product, giving the movie a polished and energetic feel. Transporter 3's legacy is felt in how it influenced later action films and shaped the genre's approach to heroes and stunts. Its impact goes beyond just entertainment. It helped redefine what audiences expect from an action movie, blending thrilling sequences with character-driven storytelling. The film's style and tone have inspired many other movies, and Jason Statham's portrayal of Frank Martin remains a benchmark for action heroes who rely on skill and intelligence rather than flashy gimmicks. This lasting influence shows that Transporter 3 is more than just a sequel, it's a defining moment in modern action cinema. For anyone who loves a good action movie with heart and style, Transporter 3 is definitely worth watching or revisiting. Whether you enjoy the high-speed car chases, the fight scenes, or the characters' evolving relationships, there is something here that captures the excitement and emotional pull of a great thriller. It's a film that balances adrenaline with genuine moments, making it stand out in a crowded genre. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into Transporter 3, there's so much more to explore about movies like this. Stories behind the scenes, hidden details, and the ways films connect with culture and audiences. So, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest content. Your support helps bring more exciting movie breakdowns, fun facts, and in-depth looks into your favorite films. Stay tuned for more, because there's always another great story to uncover, another favorite movie to explore. Thanks for being here and sharing this journey. Let's keep diving into the world of cinema together. In summary, the chemistry between the cast members of Transporter 3 created a foundation that enriched the film's narrative and emotional impact. Behind the scenes, a collaborative and supportive atmosphere allowed actors and crew to bring their best to the project, overcoming challenges through teamwork. Audience reactions, both at release and over time, reflect an appreciation for these qualities, recognizing the film as a well-crafted action thriller with heart and style. The combined efforts of the cast, crew, and director have left a lasting impression, making Transporter 3 a memorable entry in the action movie world. Transporter 3 holds a unique place in the world of action cinema, not just as another installment in a popular franchise, but as a film that contributed to shaping the style and expectations of modern action movies in the late 2000s and beyond. Its influence extends beyond the screen, affecting how action sequences were conceived, how characters were portrayed in similar genres, and even impacting popular culture in subtle yet significant ways. The movie's legacy is woven into the broader fabric of action filmmaking, with its blend of high-speed car chases, practical stunts, and a grounded, no-nonsense hero continuing to resonate with audiences and creators alike. At its core, Transporter 3 reinforced and popularized a style of action filmmaking that balances sleek, well-choreographed sequences with a strong, silent protagonist who relies on skill and intelligence rather than superpowers or excessive gadgetry. Jason Statham's portrayal of Frank Martin, especially in this third film, emphasized a kind of cool efficiency and moral code that influenced many action heroes that followed. Unlike earlier action stars who often leaned heavily on brute strength or exaggerated bravado, Frank's character was defined by precision, control, and a certain quiet confidence. This approach helped shift the genre towards heroes who were more grounded and relatable, even amidst the chaos of explosions and high-speed chases. Transporter 3's approach to practical stunts and real driving sequences also left a mark on how action scenes were staged in subsequent films. At a time when CGI was becoming increasingly prevalent, the film's dedication to performing many stunts practically added a level of authenticity that fans appreciated and filmmakers took note of. The car chases, which combined skilled driving with tight choreography and dynamic camera work, became a reference point for later productions aiming to achieve excitement without sacrificing realism. This emphasis on real-world effects helped maintain audience engagement, reminding viewers that the danger on screen was tangible and not just computer-generated spectacle. The film's influence can also be seen in the way it balanced action with moments of character development and emotional stakes. While many action movies of the era prioritized non-stop thrills, Transporter 3 took time to explore relationships and motivations, particularly between Frank and Valentina. This blend of action and emotion helped pave the way for more nuanced storytelling within the genre, encouraging filmmakers to create heroes who are not just fighters but individuals with vulnerabilities and connections. The film showed that even fast-paced thrillers could have heart, setting a standard for balancing spectacle with story. In terms of pop culture, Transporter 3 contributed to solidifying Jason Statham as one of the leading action stars of his generation. His style and persona, honed through the Transporter series, influenced how action heroes were marketed and perceived. Statham's image as a tough but relatable figure became iconic, inspiring other actors and shaping audience expectations. The movie's memorable sequences and character moments have been referenced in various media, from television shows to video games, demonstrating its reach beyond just cinema. The movie's legacy is also connected to the Transporter franchise as a whole, which helped revive and redefine the action genre in the 2000s. Transporter 3, as the third chapter, carried forward the momentum built by its predecessors while introducing new elements and refining the formula. Its success helped secure the franchise's place in action movie history, leading to spin-offs and sequels that expanded the universe and brought the style to new audiences. The film contributed to the ongoing popularity of fast-paced, tightly choreographed action thrillers that focus on skill and intelligence rather than sheer destruction. While Transporter 3 did not sweep major award ceremonies, it achieved recognition within the action and genre film communities for its technical achievements and entertainment value. The film's stunt coordination, choreography, and practical effects were often highlighted in industry discussions, earning respect from peers and specialists who understood the difficulty of executing such sequences safely and convincingly. This respect helped cement the movie's status as a technically accomplished production that raised the bar for similar films. The movie also played a role in shaping the careers of some of its cast and crew. For Jason Statham, it reinforced his status as a bankable lead in action cinema, opening doors to further high-profile projects. For director Olivier Megaton, the film showcased his ability to handle complex action scenes with clarity and style, helping him land future work in the genre. These career impacts contribute to the film's legacy, as the talents it helped highlight continue to influence cinema. Audience appreciation for Transporter 3 has grown over time, with many viewers revisiting the film to relive its thrilling moments and strong performances. Fan communities and online discussions celebrate the movie's blend of action and character work, often citing it as a favorite among Statham's films. This ongoing engagement reflects the movie's lasting appeal and its success in connecting with viewers beyond its initial release window. It stands as a reminder of a particular era in action filmmaking, marked by a return to practical effects and focused storytelling. Transporter 3's legacy is also tied to its role in representing European-influenced action cinema on a global stage. The film, with its French production roots and international cast, demonstrated that action movies could transcend Hollywood norms while still appealing to worldwide audiences. This cross-cultural appeal contributed to the diversification of the genre, encouraging more international collaborations and varied storytelling approaches in action films that followed. In retrospect, Transporter 3 can be seen as a film that quietly influenced its genre through a combination of style, substance, and technical prowess. It did not reinvent action cinema overnight, but it helped reinforce important trends that shaped the way these movies were made and received. Its practical stunts, character-driven storytelling, and cool, competent hero became templates that others adapted and built upon. The movie's legacy is not just in its thrilling car chases or fight scenes, but in the way it balanced excitement with humanity, making action feel smart, stylish, and accessible. Ultimately, Transporter 3's place in film history is secured by its ability to connect with audiences on multiple levels, through adrenaline-pumping sequences, well-drawn characters, and a clear, confident style. It stands as a testament to the enduring appeal of grounded action heroes and practical filmmaking techniques. Its influence can still be felt in contemporary action movies that prioritize skillful choreography and emotional resonance over spectacle alone. For fans and filmmakers alike, Transporter 3 remains a meaningful and influential chapter in the evolution of the modern action thriller. Transporter 3 is a movie that stands out for many reasons, combining exciting action, memorable characters, and a story that keeps you engaged from start to finish. It builds on the strength of the earlier films in the series, yet brings its own flavor with fresh challenges, new relationships, and daring stunts. The film showcases Jason Statham's unique take on the action hero, a man of skill, focus, and a strong sense of right and wrong. His character, Frank Martin, is not just about fighting or chasing, he is about control, precision, and protecting what matters most. This balance between action and heart is what makes the film resonate with so many viewers. The story moves at a fast pace but never loses sight of the character's motivations. Frank's journey in this film is as much about trust and loyalty as it is about speed and strength. The introduction of Valentina adds a new dynamic, giving Frank someone to connect with beyond his usual lone wolf style. Their relationship adds emotional depth that raises the stakes and makes the action scenes even more meaningful. The villains are well drawn, with enough menace to keep the tension high without overshadowing the leads. Together, these elements create a thrilling narrative that feels both familiar and fresh. Visually, the movie impresses with its practical stunts and high-energy car chases that feel real and intense. The decision to use real effects over CGI whenever possible adds authenticity and keeps the audience on the edge of their seats. The tight editing and strong camera work ensure that every action moment hits hard and keeps you involved. The mix of close combat and vehicle sequences provides variety and excitement, making sure there is never a dull moment. This technical skill is a big part of why Transporter 3 remains a favorite among action fans. Behind the scenes, the chemistry between the cast and the dedication of the crew contributed greatly to the film's success. Jason Statham's experience and leadership helped guide newer actors, creating a supportive environment that translated into believable performances. The director's clear vision and commitment to practical filmmaking made the action sequences stand out as some of the best in the series. This teamwork and attention to detail show in the final product, giving the movie a polished and energetic feel. Transporter 3's legacy is felt in how it influenced later action films and shaped the genre's approach to heroes and stunts. Its impact goes beyond just entertainment. It helped redefine what audiences expect from an action movie, blending thrilling sequences with character-driven storytelling. The film's style and tone have inspired many other movies, and Jason Statham's portrayal of Frank Martin remains a benchmark for action heroes who rely on skill and intelligence rather than flashy gimmicks. This lasting influence shows that Transporter 3 is more than just a sequel, it's a defining moment in modern action cinema. For anyone who loves a good action movie with heart and style, Transporter 3 is definitely worth watching or revisiting. Whether you enjoy the high-speed car chases, the fight scenes, or the characters' evolving relationships, there is something here that captures the excitement and emotional pull of a great thriller. It's a film that balances adrenaline with genuine moments, making it stand out in a crowded genre. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into Transporter 3, there's so much more to explore about movies like this. Stories behind the scenes, hidden details, and the ways films connect with culture and audiences. So, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest content. Your support helps bring more exciting movie breakdowns, fun facts, and in-depth looks into your favorite films. Stay tuned for more, because there's always another great story to uncover, another favorite movie to explore. Thanks for being here and sharing this journey. Let's keep diving into the world of cinema together. On social media and fan forums, discussions often revolve around the chemistry between Statham and Rudakova, with many viewers expressing surprise and delight at how well their pairing worked despite her relative inexperience. This enthusiasm helped boost the film's reputation, as word of mouth encouraged new viewers to give it a chance. The supporting cast also receives recognition, particularly for their contributions to balancing tone and adding humor. The film's reception has seen ups and downs, with some criticism directed at the story's predictability, but even detractors often acknowledge the strong performances and technical achievements. Over the years, Transporter 3 has become a staple for fans of the franchise and the action genre, with repeated viewings revealing new details and appreciating the teamwork behind the scenes. Special edition releases and interviews have provided additional insights, keeping interest alive and deepening appreciation for the cast's efforts. Fan events and conventions have occasionally featured appearances by cast members, where stories about the production and character interactions offer a glimpse into the camaraderie that helped shape the movie. These events highlight how the cast's chemistry off-screen contributed to their on-screen relationships, enriching the viewing experience. Interviews reveal that the actors enjoyed working together despite the physical demands and occasional frustrations, viewing the project as a shared adventure. In summary, The chemistry between the cast members of Transporter 3 created a foundation that enriched the film's narrative and emotional impact. Behind the scenes, a collaborative and supportive atmosphere allowed actors and crew to bring their best to the project, overcoming challenges through teamwork. Audience reactions, both at release and over time, reflect an appreciation for these qualities, recognizing the film as a well-crafted action thriller with heart and style. The combined efforts of the cast, crew, and director have left a lasting impression, making Transporter 3 a memorable entry in the action movie world. Transporter 3 holds a unique place in the world of action cinema, not just as another installment in a popular franchise, but as a film that contributed to shaping the style and expectations of modern action movies in the late 2000s and beyond. Its influence extends beyond the screen, affecting how action sequences were conceived, how characters were portrayed in similar genres, and even impacting popular culture in subtle yet significant ways. The movie's legacy is woven into the broader fabric of action filmmaking, with its blend of high-speed car chases, practical stunts, and a grounded, no-nonsense hero continuing to resonate with audiences and creators alike. At its core, Transporter 3 reinforced and popularized a style of action filmmaking that balances sleek, well-choreographed sequences with a strong, silent protagonist who relies on skill and intelligence rather than superpowers or excessive gadgetry. Jason Statham's portrayal of Frank Martin, especially in this third film, emphasized a kind of cool efficiency and moral code that influenced many action heroes that followed. Unlike earlier action stars who often leaned heavily on brute strength or exaggerated bravado, Frank's character was defined by precision, control, and a certain quiet confidence. This approach helped shift the genre towards heroes who were more grounded and relatable, even amidst the chaos of explosions and high-speed chases. Transporter 3's approach to practical stunts and real driving sequences also left a mark on how action scenes were staged in subsequent films. At a time when CGI was becoming increasingly prevalent, the film's dedication to performing many stunts practically added a level of authenticity that fans appreciated and filmmakers took note of. The car chases, which combined skilled driving with tight choreography and dynamic camera work, became a reference point for later productions aiming to achieve excitement without sacrificing realism. This emphasis on real-world effects helped maintain audience engagement, reminding viewers that the danger on screen was tangible and not just computer-generated spectacle. The film's influence can also be seen in the way it balanced action with moments of character development and emotional stakes. While many action movies of the era prioritized non-stop thrills, Transporter 3 took time to explore relationships and motivations, particularly between Frank and Valentina. This blend of action and emotion helped pave the way for more nuanced storytelling within the genre, encouraging filmmakers to create heroes who are not just fighters but individuals with vulnerabilities and connections. The film showed that even fast-paced thrillers could have heart, setting a standard for balancing spectacle with story. In terms of pop culture, Transporter 3 contributed to solidifying Jason Statham as one of the leading action stars of his generation. His style and persona, honed through the Transporter series, influenced how action heroes were marketed and perceived. Statham's image as a tough but relatable figure became iconic, inspiring other actors and shaping audience expectations. The movie's memorable sequences and character moments have been referenced in various media, from television shows to video games, demonstrating its reach beyond just cinema. The movie's legacy is also connected to the Transporter franchise as a whole, which helped revive and redefine the action genre in the 2000s. Transporter 3, as the third chapter, carried forward the momentum built by its predecessors while introducing new elements and refining the formula. Its success helped secure the franchise's place in action movie history, leading to spin-offs and sequels that expanded the universe and brought the style to new audiences. The film contributed to the ongoing popularity of fast-paced, tightly choreographed action thrillers that focus on skill and intelligence rather than sheer destruction. While Transporter 3 did not sweep major award ceremonies, it achieved recognition within the action and genre film communities for its technical achievements and entertainment value. The film's stunt coordination, choreography, and practical effects were often highlighted in industry discussions, earning respect from peers and specialists who understood the difficulty of executing such sequences safely and convincingly. This respect helped cement the movie's status as a technically accomplished production that raised the bar for similar films. The movie also played a role in shaping the careers of some of its cast and crew. For Jason Statham, it reinforced his status as a bankable lead in action cinema, opening doors to further high-profile projects. For director Olivier Megaton, the film showcased his ability to handle complex action scenes with clarity and style, helping him land future work in the genre. These career impacts contribute to the film's legacy, as the talents it helped highlight continue to influence cinema.